Good afternoon. This is the New Day broadcast, and I am your host, Angel Tatum. I'm just asking some of my classmates. We are at the end of the not only semester but end of our program, and I know a lot of us are handling our stress and ourselves differently. And so I wanted to hear from my classmates on today about how they manage stress. And so my first participant and interviewee is Miss Sophia Alexander. Please share with us, the New Day broadcast, how you manage stress and activities you do for self-care.
Actually, I meditate daily. If I didn't, I would probably have a nervous breakdown. I learned from Miss Mandy Miller, one of our most awesome professors, that even though I meditate daily, I need to stop and take like a breath, do a physical check of my body. Am I okay? Am my shoulders relaxed?
Okay.
I've also learned to kind of chill a little bit, as she said,
Right.
and not take things so seriously. It is the end of the road. I have given everything I can, and so now I'm just kind of in coasting mode, just ready to let it ride out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That's Miss Alexander. Have a great one. Here's another MSW program participant, Miss Charmaine Johnson, and she's going to tell us, the New Day broadcast audience and viewers, how she manages stress and what she does for self-care. Please share with us, Miss Charmaine.
Well, it took me a long time to find something that was a really good, healthy fit for me.
Okay.
Usually cooking was something I would do often, but when you're cooking and you actually eat all of the food, that's not a good habit.
I get that.
So I learned that I really do find painting as a really good stress reliever. I paint a lot.
Okay.
And when I have free time, I like to do a lot of walking. Because I'm not familiar with the area, I no longer walk until I get lost and find my way back. That's usually something that I found a lot of pleasure in, but I will go to a park and do a lot of walking.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And I didn't know that about you, so really thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
You're
feel uncomfortable now.
I am. This is how we manage stress here in our MSW program. We laugh a lot and we joke a lot. I have another participant out here, Miss Crystal Harris. Crystal, please share with the New Day broadcast audience how you manage stress and the activities you do for self-care.
Okay, well, I'm Crystal, and you just said it, humor. I laugh, I joke, I watch Netflix, I watch comedies.
Okay.
I make fun of myself, I make fun of others, unfortunately. But comedy, you have to find comedy in every situation because at the end of the day, we got a lot that we're dealing with.
Right.
And people deserve to have a sense of humor.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, New Day audience, we are rolling right along. We are working on our project, and I got another young lady who will come out and share with us, Miss Lori Williams, how she manages stress and the activities she does for self-care.
Hey everyone. So to manage stress, mostly I hang out with my family, my kids. They kind of keep me going, keep me laughing. And I also love to read, kind of takes my mind off of school, kind of focus on, some other things. So that's what I like to do to relieve stress and hang out with my girlfriends for the most part.
Okay, sounds great. You're hearing that New Day broadcast audience. You're getting so many different tools on managing stress and self-care. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Look, we are keeping it rolling. I am enjoying this time with my classmates, and we are all trying to figure out how to manage our stress during this very, very stressful time. We are at the end of our program. I have another esteemed colleague, Miss Ashley Howard, and she's going to tell us how she manages stress and what she does for self-care.
All right, I work out 3 times a week, and the best way to take care of myself is just going home and shutting down and hanging out with my 2-year-old and my 9-year-old.
I completely understand that. Thank you so much for sharing. There's nothing like a good shutdown to help manage our stress. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we all are keeping it rolling as we continue to manage our stress. We are in this MSW program. We're almost done. I have another one of my esteemed colleagues, Mr. John Estep, and he's going to tell us how he manages stress and what he does to take care of himself.
So my personal stress management routine is mostly spending a lot of time with my family. When I'm not focusing on schoolwork, we try to get out and do things like go to Six Flags or the zoo or go to a park, and gives me a chance to kind of unwind, as well as spend time with the family, which otherwise the program between work, school, and internship just doesn't really allow for anything like that. So that seems to be a great opportunity for me. And then also, lately I found myself spending some time at the beach, which is a pretty awesome experience. I have some friends that invited me out, and that's been an excellent opportunity to just kind of sit back and unwind. Even while doing, classwork, I'm sitting there looking at the ocean.
Wow,
which
that makes a difference.
makes a big difference.
And let me ask you this, John, since you mentioned family, are you able to find that balance? Are you actually able to shut down when you're with your family? Are you still thinking about school, work, or are you really able to spend that time with your family?
That's a tough one. I do spend a lot of time focusing on school and work, even when I'm with my family. Mostly
completely
school,
understand.
because there's so many projects that are due, and that it keeps my mind always in the back of my head. I'm thinking, there's something I could be working on right now instead of spending time, but I really need to, set aside and focus and spend some quality time with my family, because, I've got 4 little ones that need to know that Dad still cares about them.
Right, that's awesome. So tell our listeners, how important is self-care and stress management, in your opinion?
I think it's tremendously important. In fact, without self-care, there are a couple of times, even with it, during this course of study, that I just didn't think that I would be able to progress farther.
Wow.
In school or work or just life in general.
Wow.
And so having that self-care has provided me sort of a respite, someplace to go, and it's so important that we take that time to get our mind right.
I like that, a respite. Thank you so much, John, for sharing. I really appreciate you. Okay, New Day broadcasting audience, look like we have our men coming out now telling us how they are managing stress. I am graced to have Mr. Arnold Sanders before me. He's another student in the MSW program at Savannah State. Arnold, tell us how you manage stress and what kind of activities do you do to take care of yourself?
Well, Angel, I would say 2 things: faith and fitness.
Okay.
My faith system has really, helped me and encouraged me throughout this whole entire process.
Wow.
I reflect on a scripture from Philippians that says we can do all things through Christ,
I love it.
because He is our strength. And a part of that, it also says that, our strength is made perfect in His weakness. So those are some of the things that, I reflect on while going throughout this entire process.
Okay. And as we're getting down to the end, do you feel woosah coming on, or you still feel like you have to balance the workload, other responsibilities?
Oh, well, let's just say it's not going to be over until the fat lady sings.
Wow. Okay, I get that.
It's a struggle to the finish, but it's all well worth it, and it's all character building, and I know that it's designed to make me a better professional and a better person. So, I embrace it. It's difficult. It has been difficult. It has been a struggle, but like I said, I've highly relied on faith and fitness, having a good prayer life, a good spiritual meditation. That has really helped me through the program.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, New Day broadcast audience. I had the privilege of meeting with my colleagues yesterday, and they told me information about how they felt about stress management and taking care of themselves. And so I wanted to give you a little bit more information as we close the week out on stress management and self-care. So if you can just take this little journey with me. Stress management and self-care is a very important part of our lifestyle. It must be included. I know that we all have a lot on our plate. We all are tremendously busy, and I call it a good busy. So we may be involved in things that we do care about, and we do love, that we're passionate about, but if we're empty, it's very difficult for us to pour out to others. And you have to be able to recognize and prevent burnout. Each one of us has experienced that in some way. So we're going to define burnout a little bit. The term burnout comes from the psychiatric concept of patients who were burned out physically, emotionally, spiritually, interpersonally, behaviorally, to the point of exhaustion. How many of us can attest to the fact that we have been exhausted in our current positions? Especially a lot of us, we wear many hats. A lot of us are parents, we're teachers, we're professionals, we're mentors, we do things in our community, we're leaders. And so there are so many hats that we wear on any given day. So it's inevitable at some point we may find ourselves feeling somewhat exhausted. It was used to find people in the workplace after someone noticed that employees started to take on the same characteristics of those that were actually in a psychiatric setting. What does that look like for us? Okay, let's talk about that. What does burnout look like for us? It's a our level of psychic energy can no longer meet the demand. It's a physical and mental, emotional exhaustion. How many of us have experienced that when you ever heard someone say, I just can't give anymore? You know, I just can't give anymore. I just can't take anymore. Well, that's probably a sign of reaching that point of physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. And it's just physical depletion. You get up tired. You go to bed tired. You go throughout the day tired. Just completely drained of energy. Feelings of helplessness and hopelessness as well. Also, burnout can even look like a negative self-concept. Negative attitudes towards work, negative attitudes towards people, negative attitudes towards life itself. And then we may look at these people and dismiss them and say, oh, they're complaining, oh, this is the person that's moaning and groaning. You know, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. But we should not dismiss these signs, not in others, and especially not within ourselves. And some of us have that concept, oh, I can do it. It's okay to be positive. It's okay to be determined. But we also must recognize when we have met the end of that rope. It represents a breaking point beyond which the ability to cope with the environment is severely hampered. Going forward. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about symptoms of burnout. Behavior. What kind of behavior are you seeing when you're hitting a place of burnout? Clock watching, tardiness, reduced quality of efficiency at work, errors in the setting, especially with boundaries, therapeutic boundaries, errors in judgment and strategy, loss of control. And those boundaries can be with you and your co-workers. It can be boundaries between you and your spouse, your children, your supervisor, people in your community, people in your life that you no longer keep appropriate boundaries with. Physically, symptoms of burnout look like chronic fatigue. Again, going back to that person that states, I can't do anymore. I just can't do anymore. I can personally attest to times where it just felt like in a 24-hour cycle, I just could not keep up with sleep. I couldn't catch up with sleep, whether I went to bed early or not. I just could not keep up with sleep. I always felt tired. We may see sudden weight gain or sudden weight loss. Insomnia is another one. So it can be either variation, insomnia or excessive sleeping. Interpersonally, symptoms of burnout can look like anger, short-temperedness, isolating, overbonding, no mature interaction, hidden agendas, no separation of your professional and social life, when work is life and life is work, allowing clients to be abused, no privacy. I remember when I worked in the setting, I won't mention the name of that setting, this was several years ago, one of my coworkers became upset with one of the clients that we were working with, and I saw that coworker actually get up and approach that client as if they were going to get into an actual physical confrontation with a child. And that coworker said, what you want to do, like in a very aggressive stance, as if you do anything next, if you do another move, my next move is to retaliate in a very unprofessional way. And so that, of course, is a very strong symptom of burnout. And attitudinal, you're looking at, you may see depression, emptiness, rapid mood swings, distrust of management, hypercritical attitude towards others and towards your coworkers. And so again, we're looking at stress management and self-care within ourselves. So we want to make sure that we're checking the attitudes like this within ourselves. How many of us can attest that we've seen these type of attitudes within ourselves, not just within our coworkers? Stage 1, enthusiasm. You know, we do this. We enter our job with high hopes. We're very pleased to be there. We're very excited to now have another position. And we have unrealistic expectations about how this job is going to fulfill our own personal needs. And then stage 2, okay, not as excited anymore. We hit the stagnation. We start to feel personal, financial, or career needs are not being met. Employee incentives, the way to help in this stage, employers, is to have incentives in place and really show that you appreciate and value those that work with you. Stage 3 is when we now are really hitting that point of being critical. That's when we're close to the point of being critical. That's when you hit a person that's the coworker that's frustrated, question effectiveness, value, and impact of his or her efforts. And even yourself, look at yourself. Do you find yourself frustrated at work? Do you find yourself not wanting to be there? Do you find to begin to question your value and your worth at that place of employment? And this doesn't just have to be employment. I'm saying employment. This could be in your family structure. This could be in your community. This could be in your church. We can be burned out doing the things we love. We can minister to people and still feel burnt out doing it. We can be a volunteer and still feel burnt out doing it. We can be mentors and still feel burnt out. We can be stay-at-home parents and still feel burnt out in our role. That does not make us bad people. That does not mean we don't love what we do. That does not mean we don't love those around us. But again, we're talking about managing our own stress and taking care of ourselves, self-care. So it's good to recognize these things in ourselves so we can be proactive and make changes. Otherwise, we may see a reactive situation and it won't be good for anyone. Stage 4, apathy. Apathy, you're burnt out. You're there. Apathy is burnt out. Chronic indifference to the situation defies most efforts of intervention, and we have to really be honest with ourselves. This is when we have now hit crisis. If we're apathetic about parenting, if we're apathetic in our spousal relationships, if we're apathetic in our mentoring situations or volunteering situations, apathetic in our workplaces, we've reached a point where, again, like I said before, we can give no more. This is crisis. So what do? Okay, Angel, you're telling me all these things. I'm recognizing a lot of signs of this in myself. What do? How do I manage stress? How do I take better care of myself? I'm glad you asked. We become intentional about self-care. We must become. Self-care is not about self-indulgence, it's about self-preservation. Self-preservation, taking care of ourselves. Self-care for professionals is about actively looking after your own mental health and well-being so that you can effectively support the young people you work with. And that's, again, in a work setting. But if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home father, if you are a preacher or a minister or a pastor, if you are a volunteer in a community project, if you are a student, it's very important that you look for ways to protect your own mental health and your own well-being. So again, this doesn't have to just be in the workplace. This can be in whatever place that you are giving of yourself sacrificially, that you're looking at also of ways to protect yourself mentally and protect your well-being. Self-care and stress-reducing activity. This is the part I love because, oh gosh, I get excited when I talk about this because it's so very important that we take out time for ourselves to do the things that we enjoy. Engage your senses. Breathe in fresh air. Sit outdoors. Sometimes one of my coworkers, I think John said it yesterday in his video, his interview, he said that even if he's doing schoolwork, sometimes he'll just go do the schoolwork on the beach. And that makes a difference in how he perceives things. And so just go out in a different environment. I like to get up early in the morning sometimes and just have time with God. That's one of my things. But even sometimes just doing that in my room doesn't give me the same effect or impact. So I'll go to the beach and wait for the sun to rise and spend that same time but in a different setting. Or I'll walk and just walk and talk with God. And so we have to do things to engage our senses and take care of ourselves. So sitting outdoors, taking a hot shower or bath, getting a massage, cuddling with a pet, even staring at the sky. This is one of my big ones. Listening to music really helps me to calm down, to cool down, and to really engage my senses. And pay attention to our breathing. Engage in pleasurable activities, okay? Because we wear many hats. Right now, I am a mother. I am a student. I am a single woman, and single women has their own set of needs. I am a director at a program. I do ministry work. And so right now, I engage in a lot of activities My days are pretty packed with responsibilities. And so it's very important that I put in that time the things that I truly enjoy. And my list of enjoyable things is pretty short. So I have to give myself time to do that. And so what's your list of enjoyable things? What things did you enjoy? Even if you just give yourself 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to those activities, do it, and do it without guilt. I remember when I would sit down and watch television, I would feel so guilty. I would think about, I could put a load of laundry in, or I could go wash the dishes, or I could read a book, or I could finish some homework on time. You know what? Sometimes we just got to shut everything else out and just give ourselves that time. It's okay to give yourself that time, especially with me being a parent. It was very difficult early on. I'm much better at it now. But earlier on, it was very, very difficult for me to be able to just have mama time by myself, no kids involved, because every time I sat down for quiet time, I always thought about what else could I do for my children. And especially when they was younger, they would kind of enter into that time really easily. Mom, no, nothing against my kids. They're wonderful kids, but they would really enter into my private time. And so I've learned now, especially since they're older, to really engage in time. There are times when mama picks up her keys in her purse and I will see you guys later. And my kids are really great about that now, giving me my free time. But it's back to you. How do you engage in things that you enjoy? Journal, go to the movie, arts and crafts, garden, take yourself out to eat. So just give yourself that free time to do what you love. Self-care techniques, stimulate your mind. I like to do little puzzle puzzles on my phone. I like to read books. I do get a little sense of peace out of organizing things and putting things in certain kind of order. So, do what's interesting to you. Do what's fun to you, because in the program we are in, I'm in the MSW program right now, and there's a lot of academic scholarly reading that's associated with that program. So one of my indulgences is getting into a book that has nothing to do with nothing. It's not a self-help book. It's not I'll go get a Twilight book and just read it all the way through, because I can just take my mind into another world. And then drive to a new place you've never seen before. Where I currently live now, I jokingly say I always find a new community in Brunswick. I've been living in Brunswick, Georgia for about 10 years now, and I can still turn down the street and say, I never knew this was here. I never knew this community was here. That's one of the great things about Brunswick. And so do that. Take a drive, take a walk, go someplace you've never seen before. And what I love about this, and I'm very conscientious about my budget and money, most of these things don't require that you spend any additional money, so you don't have to have that guilt about, okay, I'm not managing my money well. Again, spiritual. This is a big portion of my life, and spiritual can mean different things for different people. For me, it means my relationship with God. But hey, spiritual can mean different things for you. So again, attend a church service, pray, meditate, journal. Listen to uplifting messages, light a candle, spend time in nature, whatever makes that spiritual connection for you, engage in that. Because again, we're talking about managing your stress and taking care of yourself. Emotional, okay? Acknowledge and accept your feelings. What they are, it's okay. It's okay to say I'm not feeling my best self today. It's okay to say I'm feeling a little down today. Acknowledge that, accept that. Because from that place of acknowledgement and accepting, you can make changes, okay? And then write your feelings down. I do that a lot. I journal a lot, and that's very much a peace bringer for me. And I can go back later, which I love about journaling, and be able to get further insight about what was going on during that time. Okay, and then you know what? Cry when you need to cry and laugh when you need to laugh. It's okay. And another thing I do, I will purposely go out and get a funny movie when I need to uplift my spirits, and I'll just laugh like a giddy kid at the silliest scenes, just because it helps me to get that time and to be more in tune with my emotions. And then practice self-compassion. Give yourself a break. One thing I notice about us as humans, individuals, not everyone, but a lot of us do this. We're much harder on ourselves than we need to be. Give yourself a break. And self-care and reducing stress, okay, your physical part, one of my ways to reduce stress physically is, it's kind of twofold. I go work out, but I put my headphones when I do, and I will break off into a dance on the treadmill. How I do that, don't ask me. But this is a way that we can reduce stress. to engage our physical self in stress management and self-care. So dance, exercise, walk, run, yoga, stretch, eat healthier, and very important, get some sleep, get some rest. And also socially, join their support groups you may find very fulfilling, engaging in conversations with other people about certain things that you are experiencing may be great. Book club, I like book clubs, I really do. Like, I haven't been a part of one in a while, but the times that I was engaged in book clubs, it was a very amazing experience. Connect with a friend, sometimes a text messaging, or a phone call, or even a lunch date with a friend really does a lot for managing stress and helping you take better care of yourself. And just know that you're not alone. You're not the only one that may feel burnt out or stressed out or just need that time away. It's not just you. Other people experience that as well. So know that you're not alone. Know that there's not something wrong with you. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been just such a great time with you. The New Day broadcast. Just want to give you a little bit of information on stress management and self-care. And like I always say at the end of every broadcast, with every new day, there still remains hope. Thank you.